Top of the morning to you.
Yes.
Welcome to Sunday. Yeah. As I take a look around, just taking the opportunity to feel the love that is here. Let's give Sunny Daye some more love. Yeah, today we get to celebrate Mother's Day, that divine creativity. We get an opportunity to look at what it's like to give birth to an idea in the mind of God. This month, we also are really diving in and looking at mental health. And in the month of May, when I think about mental health, I get excited because my talk title today is The Fear Factor. And I may say some things that might rub you the wrong way, but as my mentor says, I'm here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. You like that, Des? This month, Centers for Spiritual Living has been looking at the annual theme of extraordinary, right? Yeah, of living the extraordinary. And this particular month, Everyday Wonder, which is really about living our extraordinary lives and really being fully present to live our extraordinary lives. And this month, we've been looking at emotions. And I know that Dr. Guy Williams was here last week, and I love me some Guy Williams. He has been a teacher and also someone along the path who has just dropped such profound pearls and wisdoms and knowledge. You know, it's hard to pick up. I'm coming over here. And so last week he gave you the B's, and last week he talked about what's on your spice rack, and he was just dropping them. He was just dropping them. And how great, because our community is dying. To the old way of being and embracing new thoughts, new ways of living that are actually more effective and impactful for us than we've ever known. But I also want to share with you that our community is dying because many of us continue to hold on to things that no longer serve us. And when we hold on, we're not open to receive the new. Let me give you an example. Everybody take a nice deep breath and hold it. Hold it. Don't let it go. Hold it. Hold it. I see some heads shaking no. No. You got to let it go in order to receive the new breath that's going to sustain us. What was that like for you? I like interactive. Does anybody want to share what was that like for you? Just taking a moment to hold your breath and hold your breath. What came to mind? Panic. Dying. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it either. Thank you. I don't like it. The panic is also indicative of fear, and we're going to talk a lot about fear today because fear is an energy. It's an energy that means you no good. I know in a lot of communities they talk about fear and the acronym of fear of false evidence appearing real. In other communities they say, forget everything and run. Oh, you know the other word, huh? Okay. Now I know who I'm with today. Okay. Just checking. The one that I want to really look at today, the acronym that's going to be so important for us today around fear, is face everything and recover. Now, some of you, thank you. Some of you may say, recover? Oh, she's probably talking that 12-step stuff. No, I'm talking about life. Talking about truly living and embracing the truth of who you are. Uh-oh, here it goes. All right. What I'm talking about is recover the truth of who you are, because you've been living in a spell. You've been living in a nightmare. You've been living in a delusional world of effects, thinking that you're mere human beings, when in fact who you really are is the unique, unrepeatable, magnificent way that God is showing up on this planet. What I'm talking about is awakening to the truth of who you are, that you are not just your body or your social identities, but you are spirit, right here, right now, fully present, and so that there is actually nothing to fear. So when I say face everything and recover, I'm talking about recovering your true self. But I'm sorry, there's too many of us on our cell phones getting the news and being told who you are. You're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too white, you're too black, you're too insecure, you're not enough, you need this, you need that, you need the other thing. Oh, and by the way, too many of us are watching television and we're being told about wars and rumors and reports of wars and this disease and that disease and the other thing, and you continue to entertain and be interested in these things, and they're not the truth of who you really are. So when I'm talking about, and when I say face everything and recover, really what I'm talking about is get your bloated nothingness out of the way. Stop playing small. I don't know what's going on right now, but it feels really good in my body. Because our community is dying. We continue to believe in lack and limitation. We continue to panic and be in fear when this false evidence that appears real is really an opportunity and a call, a wake-up call. And I don't know, it could be a little gong bell, wake-up call, or it could be a 2x4 hitting you. Oh, that hurts. I'm so sorry. Calling you forth to awaken to the truth of who you are. Calling you forth to remind me of the truth of who I am. We're calling each other forth to remind ourselves of the truth of who we are as a community, as spiritual people. It makes no sense for us to come together and gather every Sunday and feel good and then walk out and be like, did you hear what happened to so-and-so? And, oh, my God, she's only here. Oh, the gas prices, they're just outrageous. Or, oh, my health and my wholeness. Or, oh, da-da-da. And just be in fear. That energy of fear means you know good. And it's simply an energy that we have dominion over. Since you like the acronyms, usually the ego, the edging God out, right? Ego, when we're dependent upon our ego, oh, I got this. I know how to make money. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. Here, look at what I manifested. See my new dig? This is what I manifested. That edging God out. I'm going to invite us to entertain God only. Entertain God only. The new ego, that place where we put our little and our bloated nothingness out of the way and we begin to actually entertain God only, because in entertaining God only, or entertaining good only, if I've offended someone because I use the word God, we have the opportunity to clear up our own mental health. Ooh. I said that, huh? Sonny, I said that. You know, we're over here sitting in beautiful Seal Beach, the jewel by the sea, and we're thinking that mental health is for those people out there, you know, those poor, less fortunate people. And yet, if you believe that you are less than who you are, then we all have a mental health problem. And the only way to deal with and the only way to address this mental health concern is for us to engage in what's called our spiritual practices. You've heard of those things. We've heard of those things, but, you know, who's got time to sit and do nothing? Don't you know that physicians are now prescribing meditation instead of prescribing medication for the ills that plague humanity? Because finally, the physicians are catching up with the metaphysicians on what the truth is. And the truth is, to the degree in which I know that my life is the life of God, it is to that degree that I am living my genuine, authentic, powerful, amazing life. So what are we entertaining? What are we being entertained by? Are we living on default? Are we just doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results? Oh, by the way, that's called insanity. Mental Health Week. It's called insanity. Beloveds, we have an opportunity in this moment to make a life-changing decision. I was taught once by Reverend Kristen Hawkins that word decision is powerful. It contains the word scission, or like incision, which means to cut. And when we decide, when we make a decision, we cut away all other options for one choice, one decision. What is your decision today? Is it to live in mediocrity? Or is it to actually fulfill upon the life that is the life of God? You think this is your life sitting in this chair. This is the life of God sitting in this chair. This is the life of God standing right here. But we become confused. We become hoodwinked. We become bamboozled. We allow the world of effects. See, we're just really here to experience the life of God in human form for just a little while. You think you were created? You weren't even created. You've always been. You just popped out and here we are, but you were not created. We already are that life of God. But what has happened is that in this form, in this three-dimensional form, it's kind of like we've fallen asleep. And we believe that this is all we really are. I'm experiencing the life of God as a 5'6" mocha chocolate brown female, same gender loving woman, Puerto Rican, living in the USA. You're having the experience of God in your flesh suit. But don't get confused. Don't think that this is it. So the way to remember and the way now to awaken, is now up to you. So I like to put it this way. I like to make the complex simple so that we can all partake and begin to really live our amazing lives. So I like to just kind of say, when we're in fear, or when you notice that you're in fear, it's an emotion, it's an energy in motion. There's something happening in your body, and then you attach it to fear. But don't you know that if you were to pause for a moment, that energy that you're feeling in your body, you can also call that same thing excitement. It's the same exact feeling. It's just based on your mental health and your mental capacity to say, right? Hello, you, please. Right? It is then up to us to kind of go, this is excitement. Oh, this is fear. And if you begin to notice when you call something fear and when you call something excitement, it begins to give you some information about where you are, mentally and spiritually. And there is a difference. So begin to notice. I like to say, practice the 3 S's so you don't become one. What? Slow down. Slow down. We had a great opportunity during the shelter at home to slow down, and now some of us are coming out the gate like it's a horse race at Santa Anita. You know, somebody opened the gates and they're off. And we're just like, slow down. Slow down. Notice the body energy. Where do I call this excitement? Where do I call this fear? What am I thinking? What am I thinking in this moment that's causing me to call this fear? And if I call this excitement because I recognize that there's an opportunity before me, what options open up and make themselves available to me? So slow down. Be still. And be silent. Allow yourself to recognize the truth. That in that moment where you're feeling some fear, that it is actually nothing to fear. That it's stuff that we're making up. Oh, but sunshine, I really only have $7 in my bank account. Wow. That might be a fact. And to the degree in which we focus on the fear and the lack, we're going to get more of that. Where your energy goes, your attention flows, and you continue to reproduce and create, oh Mother's Day, what are you birthing? You continue to birth and give life to lack, to limitation, to fear, to doubt, to anxiety. But when we slow down, when we're still, when we're silent, when we recognize the truth, that it's something that we're making up in that moment, we begin to open up and give way to this energetic that causes creativity to come forth. And all of a sudden, through our regular spiritual practice, we begin to write music that comes through us because we're not allowing fear to block. Fear is a dis-ease. It's a disease. Ernest Holmes speaks of a time where we will be emancipated from all discord. Play a discord for me. Ooh. Thank you. That was harsh. Imagine being free from all discord. It's available to you, but you got to entertain harmony. You got to entertain love. You got to entertain peace. You got to entertain abundance. You got to entertain health and wholeness. You must entertain the truth of who you are. To the degree in which you continue to entertain what you're not, that is absolutely what you become. Haven't you heard people say, oh, I don't want to be like my father? And then what happens? Hello, Daddy. I become my father. Why? Because that's where my attention. I don't want to be. I think I've shared with this community before, and I'll begin to wrap it up. The guy who falls asleep while driving in the desert, and in the desert they don't have those wooden telephone poles. They've got those big old round cement telephone poles, right? And every 30 feet here, and then 30 feet away, there's another big old cement telephone pole that if you hit one of those, it's doomsday. Right? And he wakes up and he's headed towards one of those big cement poles. And he says, don't hit the pole, don't hit the pole, don't hit the pole. What's going to happen? He's hit the pole. Why? That's where his attention is. Don't get COVID. Don't go broke. Don't let them steal from you. Don't get old. Oh, wait. Don't sage. When that's our focus, even though it's don't, life is about yes. It doesn't understand don'ts and no's. It only gives you what you're paying attention to. So our regular daily spiritual practice is important. Many of us are still driving in this community. Make it a spiritual practice that when you get in your car, even if it's just for a few moments, to just recognize and remind yourself that my life is the life of God. There's nothing to fear. My life is the life of God. When I focus on my abundance, guess what? I get mailbox money. It'd be like, wow, I wasn't even expecting this. Or even when I owe the IRS, or my camera breaks and it needs repair, I just go into this place of, I'm so grateful that I get to benefit the circulation that abounds. I know, that's a little more advanced, huh? Because nobody wants to pay for a parking ticket. Nobody wants to pay the IRS. But imagine moving into that place that my life is so in the flow that Abundance. My abundance is real, is one of the quotes that Hannah Bolton from my community says all the time. The abundance is real. Many of you say the struggle is real. Guess what? The struggle is real. If you keep saying the struggle is real. She says the abundance is real. The love is real. The peace is real. Through our practices. And it's all up to you. It's all up to you. But we cannot continue to let our communities to die in this fashion when we have the power and the wherewithal to begin to shift the vibration through our small actions. They change the globe. My question to you is, are you tired? Are you tired of what you've been getting? And are you willing to go to any lengths for your recovery? In other words, recovering the truth of who you are. Fear is really a call to engage in more spiritual practice. So have that be the indicator. You know, like when the red light goes off in your car, says you need gas or you need your engine checked. When the indicator goes off, fear, 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 oh my God, fear. Or even the low level fear, you know, when you're cool about it. Fear, fear, fear. You don't hear that. You don't hear fear, 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 fear. It's kind of like when the battery goes off, you know, when the battery's dying in your smoke detector. Beep, 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 beep. You'd be like, what is that noise? It's fear, fear, low-level fear. It is a wake-up call. Wake up! Wake up! And begin engaging in some heavy-duty spiritual practice so that you know that you are the presence of God. 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 Yes, say it. I am the presence of God. I am the presence of God. And when I am the presence of God, fear is no longer present. Fear cannot be present. When we recognize that our life is eternal, when we recognize that our life is abundance, when we recognize that our life is peace and joy, when we recognize that our life is harmony, that which is unlike it cannot stand. So I invite us today to bring our community to life, to bring this vibrant community to life by engaging in our regular spiritual practices. My message is done today. Thank you so much. I absolutely love you.